everybody, and welcome to the 12th episode of our Buffalo Bills podcast. Today we will be discussing the Bills' extraordinary win versus the Cowboys, and to get us to 8-6, I'd like to welcome my friend Adrian now.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, Adrian, what was your favorite part of the Cowboys game?
Um, so my favorite part was, well, first off, the fact that we got the chance to whoop the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it's always fun to do that. We only get to do it once every 4 years, but when it happens, it's beautiful. And well, that's satisfying. But my favorite part is that not only was it like a win, which I mean, like all we needed was a win. Like as we need to like late in the season, all we need to do is like win out. But yeah, I'm happy that we were able to dominate a team as good as the Dallas Cowboys. Like to me, that's like was so impressive. I wasn't even like asking for it, but the fact that we were able to dominate the game so well, and it was down to, I'll just say it, the key to the game was the run game. I think that the key to us dominating that game was the fact that we were able to feed James Cook. Ty Johnson also did some stuff, but the offense ran through James Cook, and it was really impressive to watch. I'm actually really excited to see this team late in the season because I was really impressed with the way James Cook and this offense ran. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was good to see them just like completely dominate a good team. I don't think we haven't really seen the Bills dominate in a while, so I think this is definitely going to be a game. I think that will be like a launch pad for the rest of the season. It will be I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills like go on a massive win streak now. I think every single team this year they've been competitive with and they've played with. There's been no like instances where we've been blown out or looked overmatched. So that's a good thing. And I think it was good to see the defense be good against a good offense.
Yeah,
And I think it was good to see James Cook get like go crazy. I think that was very good because we needed to establish a run game, as I was saying at the beginning of the season, and as you said yesterday, or as you said on the pregame. Uh, if James Cook would be good, you thought we would win the game, and he was very good, obviously. So that was good. Allen actually did not have as great of a game, but doesn't really matter because he basically relied on the run game the whole game. So we cooked them. James Cook cooked them. So that was good. What do you think the Bills did defensively that worked so well in stopping the Cowboys?
Um, so defensively, like I think the announcers also said it during the game, but what we tried to do was we tried to overload them in the pass rush, which we did very well. They really like had a hard time playing the ball quickly because we were in Dak's face. He couldn't really get out the ball that fast. He couldn't really make plays to CD he couldn't make plays to CD Lamb. He couldn't and we were all over him. We had like I don't know how many sacks, but we sacked him very well. Defensively, defensively, we were able to just limit like them from really being able to do anything because of our really solid pass rush. I think Ed Oliver had a fantastic game. There was no AJ Epinesa, but like, and then just the entire D line had a really good game. And I think that credit does need to go to McDermott because he's the one that's scheming these plays where we were able to get after the quarterback. And I think he deserves some credit there. So great job by the defensive line.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job pressuring Prescott, and overall they figured out a way to stop and really any forms of offense. It didn't feel like there was a really there didn't it didn't feel like there was many good drives that lasted like a long time for the Cowboys, which was good. Um and yeah, I think CeeDee Lamb, I think, did have like one or two catches, and Tony Pollard maybe had a big run one time, I think. But overall, they did a very good job just stopping and the run, stopping uh Lamb pressuring Dak. I thought it was a very good performance by the defense, which is encouraging because the defense has tended to come up small against in big games like this one. So going from here, how do you like the chances for the Bills to make the playoffs and further release, further beat the Chargers, beat the Patriots, find a way to get in?
Oh, like so, like how my opinions on us making the playoffs. Like,
Yeah,
okay, so I think that like with this game, what this showed me is that like I think that we have a realistic shot at winning out. I mean, it was always realistic, but I think that it's actually very likely now because I mean, we've been really good. Like I think we clicked. We finally clicked. It's like the announcers said it as well. I hate having to quote the announcers, but they're saying no one wants to play this team right now. They're so dominant. Like we're getting hot at the right time. We're probably right now one of the best teams in the AFC, and I think that overall, if some of the teams that we need to drop some games, if they do drop their games, like I think that I think that we have a really good shot at getting in. I mean, I think that I mean, we don't control our own destiny, but I mean, what we can control, I have a really good feeling about that. Now we just have to wait for our other teams to drop games. What do you think?
yeah. I agree. I like this team in the playoffs. I think there's not, as I said last show, there's not many teams that really scare me in uh in the in the in the AFC. What do you think about our chances to win the division?
Okay, so the division. I mean, sadly, the Jets are a useless team, and they're a dead franchise with no quarterback. So we couldn't they couldn't help us out there. But even then, if we win out and the Dolphins like they drop, look at it this way: the Dolphins they play the Cowboys and the Ravens. Let's say that they drop one of those games, and then they'll be at so like so what are they at now? Like 10-4. So if they're 10-4, they'll be at 11-5 going into the last week. And then like let's say we win against the Chargers and the Patriots, then that'll put us at 10-6. So then that would mean that the last game of the season would be for the division. And I mean, we'd hold tiebreaker. If we win that, we'd both be at 11-6 and we'd win the division. I think it's very likely.
Based on what you said, I agree. I think the Bills very well can win the division. I do think the tiebreakers and just where the Dolphins are compared to where we are is might make it hard to win the division, but I like our chance. I still think we have a good chance. Um, yeah, even if we don't win the division though, I'm really not that worried. I'm not afraid of many teams in the AFC. I'm not afraid of the Dolphins, honestly, going into the playoffs. Hmm. The team that scares me a lot is the Jaguars, to be honest, because I think they're a good team and they're a good matchup for us. What about you? Like which team scares
Like
you?
going to so assuming that we make the wild card, this is what I'm assuming. So that would mean that we play one of the division leaders. So I'll say Baltimore is the team that is like I mean that'll scare me the most. They might get the one seed, but in terms of like it's a whole an overall squad, like they just seem to like they don't make mistakes really. Like they have a good quarterback, good run game, good receivers, good defense, good head coach. Like they're the most complete team in the AFC right now. So I really wouldn't want to run into them. I think that this might be their year to like go on a deep playoff run. They haven't done that in the Lamar era, and I don't think it's really that great of a matchup. I mean, like 2 years ago in the play, or 3 years ago, 2020 playoffs, we completely dominated Lamar. and like we ended up winning that game. But in terms of teams, I still say the Ravens, a team that scares me right now at the moment.
Uh, I see where you're coming from. For me, I think they're like a solid team, but for whatever reason, I don't view them as much of a threat. Maybe I'm underrating Lamar Jackson a little bit though, but I
Yeah,
just view I just don't I think that we'd be able to figure them out. I really do. The
that's
Jaguars I
true.
view as a threat because I think they have an overall larger and better core of receivers. Now their defense I don't think is as good, and I'm not sure about their offensive line or their defensive line. I don't know. I think the Ravens are more solid in those areas, but there's something I like Trevor Lawrence more. I don't know. So they scare me a little bit, the Jaguars. But I see where you're coming from with the Ravens.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Uh, all right. So going back to this Cowboys game, Josh Allen did not. The overall throwing statistics were not that good. But do you think those are indicative of how he played, or do you think he played better than the stats showed? What do you think?
I'll definitely say that he played a lot better than the stats show because I, well, the reason that he got the game ball from McDermott, which I don't agree with that. I think James Cook was the man of the match, but it's whatever. But the reason he gave the game ball to Josh was because this is the first game, like in 15 games, that he hasn't had a turnover. So I think it's like one of the only times this season that he hasn't turned the ball over, which is really good. He also just didn't really make mistakes. Like he didn't really need to do that much offensively. Like his numbers aren't like good, but that's simply because he wasn't asked to throw the ball that much. He did a good job at what he was asked to do. He made plays when he needed to, and he really just managed the game really well for us. He didn't really need to be Superman, which is actually a good thing. So yeah, I don't think that like the like low passing yards or anything or really shows how bad like or how well he played because he did play really well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think in a way this is actually a good thing because as you were saying all season, we needed to see other players on the team step up because you can't rely on just the quarterback to carry you. So I think James Cook obviously had a crazy game, but even Diggs had a couple of good catches. No one else really did anything actually, but at least it's at least Cook did something. At least Cook like showed he's dominant. So he could be dominant. So now going into a playoff matchup, I don't think teams will just like underrate Cook. I think they'll have to guard Cook, they'll have to guard Diggs. Obviously, they'll have to be really careful with Josh Allen and be put a lot of pressure on him. So I think the more guys they have to like be worried about, I think the better because that gives like guys like Gabe Davis or Kincaid or whoever more opportunities to potentially play have a big game because they might be wide open. So I think that I want to see like Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox and Kincaid and Shakir have good games down the stretch. I think that's important just for everyone to be good going into the playoffs. Okay. Um Now looking around the AFC. Right now, the Bills are currently in the ninth seed behind the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Cincinnati Bengals, Jaguars, or Browns, Jaguars, Kansas City, Miami, Baltimore. Um, ba Well, we do not have the tiebreaker over uh Cincinnati. And I don't think we have it over Indianapolis, nor do we have it over Houston. So just based on that, does that worry you going into the playoffs, or do you think winning out will near almost guarantee us a playoff spot?
Well, tiebreakers are concerning, but like I'm not really sure about the other team's schedules because I'm not paying attention to those. But
Yeah,
if
hold on. All right, come.
we back, we back, right? I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Oh, keep talking. Keep talking. Okay, Michael, edit this out. Three, two, one. Okay, so looking at the playoff picture, I don't think that the tiebreakers really mean anything for us because I think that the other teams that we're fighting with, the most of them are playing their backup quarterbacks or just overall mediocre football teams.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. Have a good night.